And welcome back to the CBG Live Network here on YouTube for the third state championship of the day here at the VISSA State Championships, the Division II championship. Very talented matchup between number 3 Miller School of Albemarle out of Charlottesville in the black, taking on number 1 Highland School out of Warrington, Virginia in the white. Happy to have my man Alex Petrie on the call with me. What's up, Petrie?
What's going on? Glad to be back.
Yes, sir. Welcome back. So this is a good one. I know you're not too familiar with these two teams, but you'll get familiar quick enough.
Give me the rundown.
So Miller is led by number 24, Austin Ball. He is a commit to George Mason. And then off the mark there for Wabon. And number 33, Eli Delorier, who's a nationally ranked junior on their team. And Highland School has been the surprise of the VISA this year, coming in with a new coach in Logan Miller, lost a bunch of talent from last year, but reloaded, regrouped, and have had a terrific year this year to get the number 1 seed. So exciting matchup here.
Any individual matchups that you're paying particular attention to? I know you mentioned Delorier and 24.
Austin Ball.
Austin Ball. Any matchups with any Highland guys in particular that you're looking at to decide this game? Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be intriguing to see who number 1 DJ Johnson guards. He's right now they've got him on Eli Delorier. He's their most athletic and versatile defender. So it'll be interesting to see that. And then the point guard matchup of the two number 2s, Cameron Cole for Highland and Jordan Horn, who just took the dribble handoff here. That's going to be important as they both are kind of the floor generals and leaders as Horn turns it over right there. Julian Rivera on the kick out. Kai Johnson lines it up no good. And Rivera runs it down. Great save there. And on the drop off, Johnson, nope. Austin Ball beats him there and draws the charge.
So, Jack, tell me a little bit about collectively what the strengths and weaknesses of these two teams are.
So, I mean, both of these teams are defensive-minded teams. They share the ball. You'll see a lot of kind of Princeton action run by Miller, and you'll see the versatility of Eli Delorier is going to be a big thing as he'll step out. He can go inside and everything like that. Highland is kind of a gridded-out type team. We got a double foul call as Johnson and Delorier have been banging there in the post.
And Coach Logan Miller comes from Christopher Newport.
Yes.
And I know they have a very defensive-minded approach, and so it's easy to see here early on. I know you mentioned their defensive-mindedness, but just the intensity and the focus in which they're defending is apparent here early.
Yep, as Chance Perkins checks in for Highland. He had a good game yesterday in their win over Stewart. And off the mark there for Austin Ball. He follows his own miss. Can't get it to go. Will Bond is going to be fouled. So 3 opportunities there, and you will see a significant size advantage for Miller, especially at the wing positions. So that'll be something important for Highland to make sure that they keep Miller off the offensive glass.
Austin Ball, what is his game like?
Oh, shooter and athlete. Knockdown from deep, finishes above the rim. Brings good energy. As Bond able to connect on 1 and 2. So it's 1-0 Miller here. And here comes Cam Cole, committed to Navy.
The vertical double ball screen there for the shooter. Primary point guard comes off. Good action there.
And Delorier from deep.
That's that range you were talking about.
Buries the triple. He had 2 of them yesterday in Miller's win over Hargrave. And that's it. Not only can he step out and shoot it, but he'll find cutters and be able to kind of initiate that. That's why they run a lot of Princeton action, because of his skill set.
relationship to Javin DeLaurier?
Yes, little brother.
Little brother, wow.
And finding
there's that skill set you were just talking about, that passing ability.
And kicks out. They swing it to Jordan Horn. So another second chance opportunity here. Horn, oh, great
hesitation.
Great hesitation and change the pace there. And early timeout here by Highland. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be right back on the CBG Live Network. So out of the timeout here, a good start for Miller, leading 6-0 here with just under 5 to play in the first.
And I forgot to ask you, now maybe a little bit tainted after this quick start by Miller, but what is your prediction here for this game and how it goes?
Off the mark there from Cole. I mean, my prediction was a close win by Miller School. So Miller has the 3 seed because of their record. They have, I believe it's like 12 losses or something, but they're battle tested. They've played a really tough schedule as DeLaurier lines another one up off the mark. I mean, they were going up to DC, down to Carolina, playing everyone they could, and Horn with the steal and the finish. And they're a little bit more experienced than Highland, as most of their roster is full of juniors and seniors. And the handoff here to Rivera. Rivera from deep, knocking it down.
Highland's running a lot of good action here in the half court. Definitely looking to manufacture some buckets against Miller's tough defense.
And Austin Ball coming off the handoff, can't hit, and DeLaurier skying for the rebound, but can't haul it in, and it's gonna go back to Highland. And Jeremiah Gorham, sophomore point guard, checking in for Highland.
So if Highland's able to get it done, what do you think in their performance it will be that will lead them to victory?
I mean, I think that they've got to keep Miller off the offensive glass, as we talked about earlier. And more than anything, I think kind of keeping it close and striking at the right point. You know, they're both kind of grinded out type teams. I don't expect anybody to build too big of a lead at this point. I expect a couple of spurts here and there, like the 8-0 one that Miller started. But, you know, if they can just kind of keep it close coming into that fourth quarter and be able to strike then, I think is really going to be the key. And I think keeping them off the glass is going to be key to making sure they stay close. And there's Rivera crashing the glass. He can't finish. Rebound by Horn.
And Highland's bench wanted a goaltend, slapping that backboard, shaking it. They thought contributed to that miss.
I feel like the rule's a little bit unclear on that, you know. I believe it's that the ball has to be on the rim for it to be considered that, as Austin Ball underneath. But I can't get a straight answer from anybody on that, you know. And good start here for Austin Ball and his Miller School Mavericks.
Miller doing a lot of switching on the perimeter in a lot of the different actions. The 3 men on the side, they're just keep sticking with. Let's see here. What happened to the shot clock?
Oh, we do have an issue with shot. Oh, we don't have a shot clock in this one.
Oh, okay.
Only in the Division I games they play with a shot clock.
Got you.
And from way downtown, Chance Perkins, the sophomore spark off the bench for them. And he let that one go from NBA range. Jordan Horn working on Cam Cole. Cole gets the back tap. Horn's able to run it down. No call there. Horn fires and hits the three himself. And we've got a timeout.
Big turnaround right there.
Yep, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the CBG Live Network. And we are back here, 13-6 with 1:30 left in the first quarter.
Just before that break, we saw a potential charge. Highland certainly thought so, but Miller able to knock in the three, and those are the micro moments that potentially can determine a game.
Absolutely, and definitely sway type of momentum at a point in the game like this. Coming off the big three that Perkins hit, if they draw that charge. And now we got a foul off the ball, I believe, on Chance Perkins.
You're absolutely right, though. Highland, after the rough start, was just starting to generate some of that momentum. Hit the three and was really disrupting Miller on that possession. Ball out of bounds. Delorier not able to convert.
And everybody hits the deck. We got a jump ball. Possession error should be Highland.
Have you been able to see these teams over the course of the season? And if so, how have each of these teams evolved to get to this point in the season?
I haven't got to watch Highland. I watched them in the preseason at our CBG stuff, and they were so young and new that it was kind of nobody knew how they were going to be, and they were without their senior star, Cam Cole. But once he came back, I mean, they've, as a huge block there by Austin Ball, they've kind of run the table and playing in one of a very good conference up there, the MPSCA, which, you know, had the D3 winner Fairfax Christian in it as Eli Delorier finishes there. They kind of dominated all season. As far as Miller, like I said, Miller played an extremely tough schedule throughout the year, going up to DC, playing teams like Word of God, some others, and Cam Cole buries the triple there. That brings us to the end of the first, but Miller really kind of found themselves through the roller coaster of a year and are now playing their best basketball of the season, and that's kind of the point of playing such a tough schedule. But we'll get into more of that here as we get into the second at the end of one. Miller School 15, Highland 9. You're here on the CBG Live Network. And here we go to start the second here. Miller with the ball, leading 15-9. Delorier.
I thought in that first quarter you spoke of Miller's experience and their battle-testedness, and I thought that showed early in the first few minutes of the game where Miller was able to assert themselves, act like they'd been here before, where Highland was just kind of a little bit like deer in headlights to begin the game, but they were able to find their groove and bring the deficit to within 6 and really show signs of life that if they're able to generate and sustain that momentum will carry them for the rest of the way.
Absolutely. And awesome ball here. Off the back iron on the first one. And then I think, you know, like I said, Miller's kind of had those ups and downs, and Highland has been pretty steady all year as far as their records show. And I think that, you know, it kind of teaches you, how, you know, Miller playing that such a tough schedule. Okay, when we do this to start the game, we usually win. When we don't do this, we lose. So, you know, I think coming out strong was something that they put a lot of emphasis on. And I believe this is Gorham with it.
I'm really liking the way Highland is getting creative, getting into ball screens. And a lot of what they're doing, you see the confusion on Miller. You see different guys screening for the screener. So you create that separation so when a ball screen comes, there's no attachment from the defense. And what you've seen as a result of that is Highland be able to generate clean looks off of the bounce from 3. Really excellent job of executing and drawing up stuff by Coach Logan Miller.
And I believe we've got a timeout from Miller as Coach Jack Merriweather doesn't look too happy. I think about what you were just talking about, getting lost in the screens and the action there. But then, you know, coming right back down and executing themselves on their Princeton cuts, and Jordan Horn gets an easy layup after the 3 by Chance Perkins. Both of these teams are going to execute. You know, they both are guys. So Jack Merriweather used to coach at the Division II level at West Virginia Wesleyan. Logan Miller used to coach the Division III level at Christopher Newport. Both are bringing a college-style offense to the table.
Definitely has that chess match feel to this early on. Possession for possession. Possession battle. Neither team really looking to push too much in transition. It has been a half-court affair thus far.
And Highland bringing the ball up here with Gorham.
We see screen the screener into a vertical double screen. And a mismatch down low, and great job by Miller. Ooh.
Nice hesitation by Perkins. Gets it inside.
Wow.
The and one by DJ Johnson.
And that's interesting because Miller has switched defensively, and they had the big fella down there, down low, posting up with a smaller Miller defender on him. And they elected not to swing it and punch it in, but rather attack the Miller defense with the switch on the perimeter. And so the guard gives Delorier the hesitation and able to get into the basket, find the big man. And that is ball screen manipulation 101. Find the mismatch and exploit it.
Absolutely is. Miller's going to enter high here, and they're going to go inside to Ball, who's got the mismatch, and he's able to finish.
I really like to see guards be able to, it's rare to see them with the skill set back to the basket, punishing smaller defenders. Ball with great size and leaping ability, as you said earlier, able to take advantage down there on the low block.
Yeah, and I mean, when you talk about them defensively, offensively as well, like I said, they run a lot of Princeton action. And whether it's Coach Merriweather recruited this team because he likes to run Princeton, or does he run Princeton because this team has what it takes to do it? But outside of the big being able to pass, having bigger switchable wings, yes, and guys that can go on these back cuts and post smaller guards and, you know, be able to work out of different looks like that, they have a team that's built to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
As Delorier kicks out to Jackson Rose, back to Will Bond.
With the Princeton, a lot of positions get inverted. That's one of the difficult things about playing it. Bigs become guards, guards become bigs.
And right there, you just saw it as Horn set the back screen for Delorier to come post, and then when they doubled on the post, he's wide open on the kick out.
Yeah.
It's just replace. We had former Richmond assistant Rob Jones. I saw him speak at a coach's clinic, and he talked about how simple Princeton really is and how it's, if you have the guys to be able to run it, it's just replace and roll and screen and move and just keep replacing in those same positions. And that's kind of what happened right there. Very rarely do you see the big or the guard screen for a big, like you said, back screen for a big, and then he replaced up top and ends up with an open shot.
Definitely an effective way to play when you have highly skilled guys. And then it comes to a matter of how well do you run your stuff? How disciplined are you? How precise are you? Because a lot of teams will try to run those Princeton principles, but not effectively. Coach Merriweather is evident here that he holds his guy to a high standard and puts in a lot of practice emphasis in running the stuff right.
And Rose gets in, he kicks it out to Ball. As they enter to Delorier. Clear out one side for him, he's gonna work. Can't hit on the jump hook. And we got a tie up here on the rebound. And I think the Highland bench really wanted a foul there on that rebound.
They've been griping at a lot of these calls here in the first half.
There's a lot on the line, man. Yeah. There's a lot on the line here. It's the last game of the year for these two teams. If you've got gripes, get them out right now.
And you think, in a 1-2 possession game, which this game may likely come down to, a whistle here in the first half could be the difference in a deep shot.
And Perkins almost hits another one from way down there as Austin Ball with it. Brings it back out, gets it to Horn. They're going to set up. And looking for Ball on the cut. Instead, try to go to Horn on the post up. Okay. And again, lots of physicality. Ball from three, no good. And they're going to say Delorier stepped out of bounds on the rebound.
And coming into the game, one of the strengths you mentioned for both teams is their ability to sit and defend for a full possession. Each of these teams testing each other's defense, running thorough offense. And so it'll be interesting as the game develops to see whose defense is able to maintain its strength and its precision.
As we go inside to Johnson. Johnson can't finish on the jump hook.
Leaned back right there. Should have just gone straight up. Maybe would have gotten the foul.
As we approach 3:30 to play here, ball screen action. Horn picks it up, gives it over to Delorier. Delorier is going to attack the right side. Looks inside to Bond. And there's Ball with the follow. They're going to have to keep them off the offensive glass. Rivera attacks. He throws the skip. The fall-away jumper for Cam Cole.
And if you're Miller, you live with that shot. You know, make them run offense and you push them towards the baseline into a tough 15-footer with a contested hand. Sometimes you just have to tip your cap and say that's a good shot. But on the flip side of that, when the ball goes in the basket, a lot of times it re-energizes you on defense, and that's exactly what we just saw there with Highland scoring the bucket and then getting after Miller on defense. Great job converting offensive energy into defensive momentum.
Yep, Cole headed to Navy in the Patriot League. You played in the Patriot League for a little bit. They've really turned their program around there at Navy.
Oh, yeah.
They're having a great season.
Navy's always tough. Always tough. They always defend. They run their stuff. But I think here recently they've started to get a little bit more talent. And, you know, talent on top of that floor that they already had and established by their defense and the intensity which they play with. makes Navy a tough out any time you go to play them.
And that's going to be out of bounds. They're going to say off of Austin Ball. You know, I think that one thing that the Navy and Army as well, as they've become a lot better too, the service academies are really based on how well you can evaluate what you can make of a kid. And I think that, you know, they'll take a kid that maybe is an inch or two too short, or, hey, he's just labeled as a shooter or something like that, see something else in the kid and be able to, you know, get the most out of them. And they've done a lot with guys from Virginia, Mac McDonald and a couple other guys, as Cam Cole buries the triple there. And I think that Cole is going to fit that just as well, or just perfectly, because I think that he's a little bit of a late bloomer and a guy that people said, oh, is he fast enough? Is he quick enough? And they see the toughness and the skill set, think, you know, he's got Navy written all over him.
And with the service academies as well, you automatically have a sense of buy-in a lot of times that other schools don't necessarily have. You know, everyone is, you know, falls in line at a service academy, and they're all there for representing the Navy or representing the Army. And I think in terms of team cohesion and that chemistry factor, that cannot be understated.
And another turnover here forced by Highland, and Johnson almost gets the three-point opportunity as it rattles out on the layup, and he will head to the line to shoot a pair.
But the service academy also, it's a very particular kind of experience. You weed out of a lot of kids who aren't necessarily locked in. You tend to get very focused kids, serious kids who are workers. And I think those service academies leverage that in terms of the on-court product, but also building a culture.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't commit to a service academy without understanding what you're getting yourself into.
Exactly.
And, you know, with us, you know, with me running the Elite Prep League with the military academies that we deal with, Hargrave, Massanutten, and Fork Union, I make it very clear, too, to a lot of these kids as well, like, you know, there's going to be sacrifices you have to make to go here, but there's sacrifices you're going to have to make in life.
Right.
And so, you know, if you can't do it now, how do you know you're going to be able to do it, whether it's cut your hair, get up, and be disciplined, as Ed Harrison bangs home a three. You know, if you're not willing to take an opportunity to better yourself because you don't want to cut your hair, you know, what's going to happen when you have a job down the line? And a steal there for Horn.
And, you know, I know they pitch themselves as not 4-year decisions, but 40-year decisions. Mm-hmm. And so it is an opportunity of a lifetime when you have one of the service academies asking for your services.
Absolutely, and we're going to have an offensive foul on Austin Ball and over the back.
I don't know about you, but it feels like in this game thus far, Miller has been the superior team, but Highland is hanging in there, and that's exactly what you had talked about earlier, just staying close and striking at the right times. And we're at a three-point deficit for Highland and chance to make it less, but they fail to convert. It's going to be big to get this one stop here to go into the half at one possession game.
100%. Delorier is going to fire in and out, and I'm not sure that that's the shot that Miller wants right there. I mean, 30 seconds left. You could hold for one or with no shot clock, or, you know, at least work the offense and see if you can get something better. That shot's going to be there pretty much all game. And inside, Johnson counted plus the foul.
And that's exactly why you hold it. So even if you miss, you don't give Highland the opportunity. And I think Coach Merriweather right there is saying exactly that, maybe in not so kind terms.
Yeah.
But it was a tough position Delorier found himself in. His defender had stumbled and actually fallen.
Yep.
And so he's standing there wide open at the top of the key, and as a confident shooter, he's going to let it fly. But just time and score, not necessarily the right time.
Yeah, we know Alex Petrie would have let that fly, that's for sure. As Johnson hits the free throw. You probably would have dribbled it 2-3 times behind your back and then shot it, right? That was your game, man.
Yeah, maybe taking another step back.
And 7 seconds left. Here comes Jordan Horn with it. We'll see what they get out of this one. Horn down the lane, drops it off to Harrison. And a tough angle, he's not able to convert. So
we're tied here.
Yeah, at the half, we've got a good one brewing here for the state championship. Highland School and Miller School tied up at 25. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the CBG Live Network. And we are back here for the second half of this one. Tightly contested matchup, and Austin Ball breaks the tie with the floater, the George Mason commit.
What adjustments are you looking for here on both sides here for the second half?
I think the follow away there by Cam Cole, no good. I think for Highland, I think you kind of just keep doing what you're doing. I think Miller School, they're going to look kind of more to go inside. But Highland, I think it's they need to continue to get the ball in their playmakers' hands. Cam Cole, Julian Rivera, Chance Perkins, and just fight on that offensive glass. What about you?
Yeah, I think for Highland, the point of emphasis is limiting Miller to one shot, particularly when Eli Delorier and some of the other bigger players are playing on the perimeter. There's no excuse. So that's just a matter of battling. And I think for Miller, it's going to be a point of emphasis is how are you going to guard the ball screens, and if you are going to do different things with different personnel, switch or get through whatever you're going to do, that has to be communicated and that has to be clear. We saw a few mishaps in the first half that cost them a few buckets. And I think here we're going to look to see Miller be tighter with what they're doing defensively.
Agreed, and that scrum for the ball there ended up, they said out of bounds on Miller. So it'll go back to Highland as Kai Johnson will bring it up. And Cole off his foot. They're trying to say it last touched Jordan Horn. And they're going to discuss it. I don't know how much that official on that end will be able to help. And
another call that goes against Highland. They are heated on the bench.
Yes. Coach Miller still pleading his case. I always love that with coaches, right? Like, all right, you even got him to talk about the call. It still didn't go, but I'm still going to chirp at you the whole way up.
That's the game within the game, right?
Yeah, you got to make sure that they don't miss that call again. And here we go, a little one-on-one action with Johnson and Delorier. Delorier shoots the left-handed hook. No good. And Rivera downhill, and Austin Ball gets back, and he is called for the charge. And I don't think Coach Miller's happy about that one either.
No, he is not. But credit to Austin Ball for getting in there and sliding his feet, getting position outside of the arc, restricted arc. You know, guy committed to George Mason, a Division I guy, willing to take a charge here in the state championship game.
And I think one thing, I mean, I know it's not the rule. The rule is be in legal guarding position, but making sure your chest is there to be able to take it as Johnson goes for it all.
Whoa.
And a foul is going to be called. And honestly, I think Delorier was a little bit surprised he challenged him there.
Yeah, you could see his facial expression while he was on the ground, just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that one, but credit to Delorier in that length and that athleticism to be able to block that shot. He was on his heels, his momentum taking him backwards while the offensive player was coming forwards, and he was still able to thwart that dunk attempt. But sometimes you don't need to even convert it fully. Sometimes the mere attempt can be a momentum booster.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the gym is a-buzzing after that one, even when he didn't make it, and the first free throw's off. But, you know, that could be something that it energizes the rest of your team. When we talked about it yesterday, right? Oh, the saying that 2 points is 2 points. Well, some 2 points brings a lot more energy to your team than other 2 points do.
Exactly. And here we're 0 points, but they get the offensive rebound, and we have a 3-ball up, in and out.
Good rebound there by Will Bondi.
That doesn't go, but I like what I'm seeing from Highland in terms of going at Miller. They are picking up three-quarter court. We see almost a dunk attempt. We see an offensive rebound and battling in that high post spot. And there they are on the fast break again, going at Delorier, and the length blocks another shot.
Yeah, I mean, you see them. So you weren't here for it yesterday in their game against Stewart. It was a very close game, and I mean, Stewart led for most of the way, and then come that like toward the end of the third and early fourth quarter, they really turned up on defense, and you're kind of seeing that a little bit earlier in this one. So far in the third quarter, I mean, we have 2 points in 3 minutes of play so far. I think that's because both teams kind of made it an emphasis, like we've got to get after it on the defensive end.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, you know, coaches will always say, I want 100% of your effort, I want 110% of your effort, but the reality is there is a baseline amount of effort that should be expected, but the best teams have an ability to dial it up and turn it up when they really most need it. And I think that is what we are seeing from here from Highland, turning it up the intensity.
Yep, going to that next level as DJ Johnson finishes in the paint there, and Will Bondi's going to look inside to Delorier. Delorier can't get it to go. Struggling a little bit from the field right now. And a jump ball. Possession arrow to Highland.
So anyway, that's it.
I think that you make life tough for Delorier when you don't let him get inside position. Delorier doesn't necessarily have the same strength as the opposing big, and for him shooting that jump hook at 6 feet, that's probably going in, but making him shoot that at 13 feet, making him shoot it with his offhand like we saw earlier in the quarter, those are the ways in which Highland is contesting and challenging Miller, forcing them to take shots they're not most comfortable with.
Absolutely, and we got a timeout on the floor. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be right back on the CBG Live Network.
Everywhere together. It's so cute. Little pack. Yeah, she's not as into the group. Baby. I'm like, why are you taking Bella? She's like the easiest dog in the world of all these dogs to get along with. She doesn't even bark at anybody. Bella's like, I just like to get along with everybody. I don't know. I just like to get along with everybody. Mm. Yeah. She's particular. She's particular about who she likes. Her friends. How is Stanley after his traumatic surgery and all that?
And we're back here out of the timeout. Julian Rivera underneath with the finish.
I love that coming out of a timeout. A lot of times out of a timeout, the messages and lock in and intensity, aggression on defense, and Highland able to penalize them with the back cut, beating them with their own aggression right there.
And Delorier, maybe that's what he needs to get it going. And, you know, I like that a little bit more from them. I mean, I'm all for trying to go inside with Delorier, but having him shoot the 15-foot catch and shoot versus the 13-foot jump hook.
Yes.
Over top.
That's good.
putting him in a spot to be able to pop out, catch, and just fire, which is one of his, better assets.
Like Lazarus.
And a lot of times,
Praising him for the death.
guys, especially in this day and age, get carried away with the 3-ball.
Yeah.
And, he's missed a few. And so I like that he went to that 15, 16-foot range to, see that ball go through.
Right.
As they swing over, and they're going to try to post ball. And Rivera making it really tough for the entry pass. And that's going to be out of bounds off of Boston ball.
Absolutely. Starts with Rivera, and then you see Highland, his teammates coming in, digging in as he gets into that lane. Collective team effort there by Highland.
I mean, this Highland school team, when the ball goes inside, I mean, a lot of times at Johnson they'll play it one-on-one, but it almost feels like a football team that, like going after the ball carrier, like they converge and they fly all over to make it difficult to be able to kick it out on double teams.
They run that same set again, and bang. Wow. That's at least 9 points off that same set.
Yep, and Perkins, like I said earlier, he is the spark off the bench for them with his ability to shoot. And he has shown that deep range. And that's off the mark there for Bondi. Rivera, might have got away with the travel there, but it's a turnover anyways. Ball pushing up the sideline. Goes to DeLaurier. And
there's that activity, that defensive activity that you were just talking about, converging on the ball. Active hands right there.
And how quick he went straight for the basketball.
Yes.
Didn't go wall up. He saw that ball out there, went straight to it. And jump ball, it's going to be Miller School possession. But
quietly, Highland is taking a 3-point lead. We'll see what Miller's response is. But as I was saying earlier, with that set that they've gotten 3 threes on, as a player, you need a go-to move, but also as a team, you need a go-to move, which you need something that you can bank on getting a good shot every time, something that fits your team and something that you've practiced over and over and over and over again to the point where you can just run it and you know the counters to the counters. And I like that Highland is not overcomplicating it. They're hitting their couple sets and they're delivering.
Absolutely. As Highland a little upset about that call. Cam Cole thought he had a clean block there. And I'm sure they looked at each other and said the famous ball don't lie. As Horn misses the first one. 2:03 remaining here in the third quarter.
And Highland doesn't have a ton of size, but you have a guy like Cam Cole able to get up and erase a shot like that. That makes up for the lack of size, that athleticism, and that length and tenacity.
And Goreham's going to attack downhill. Foul, and they're going to count the bucket there. So a 3-point opportunity here for Gorham.
And that's great chess right there. Picking out the matchup that you want. They got 35 a little heavier on his feet. Got him in a ball screen action, able to get downhill and create an advantage.
And you feel the momentum swinging toward Highland. I mean, the end of the third can't come quick enough here for Miller. And these last, 2 minutes are going to be very important as Evan Brown checks back in the game for Highland. And Gorham shoots in.
So the question is, if you're Miller, how do you reverse this momentum? What is the response if you're Miller right here?
It's one of those things where maybe at the time it's hard to see, but, I think kind of getting, you got to pick out how aggressive Highland is and maybe catch them on back cuts or catch them in a counter action, throw something at them they haven't seen yet.
Right now, they've got to take care of the ball first and foremost.
Yep.
Several turnovers here, crippling them. And if you're Austin Ball, that's exactly what you have to do. You have to stop relying on the offense and get it done yourself.
Absolutely. We got a timeout here by Miller. with 1:17 left in the third. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be right back on the CBG
So
Live
long,
Network.
she's like 3 years basically since her started dementia and all that, and and she said her dad is. How's your dad doing? I said, is he aware of like what's going on? Because he also has dementia. And she said, oh yeah. She said he's just like heartbroken. He's just absolutely. She said, oh, we'll just see, until the last, because he's just absolutely heartbroken. I was like, oh, how sad. Anyhow, it's kind of sad anyway, her situation. It's kind of sad to see them that way. Not really knowing who's who and all that. Definitely not her mom. I think her dad has a little bit more, he's a little bit more in and out, but Mary was really didn't remember much, So, very sad. But she said, I read in the obituary that something about donated her remains to Alzheimer's research or something. So she said they're not sure.
We're back here, minute 17 left. So before we broke, we talked about what Miller has to do to kind of change the momentum. What would you say about Highland making sure that they don't get a little bit too giddy with this momentum? There's still a whole other quarter to play after this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something you talk about explicitly in the timeout, and I think it starts with what are the habits that have got you to this point, and what has been the backbone of your principles all season long. And whatever those are, that is what you are emphasizing here. You don't switch it up. You don't do anything different. You say this is who we are, and this is what got us here, and this is how we're going to finish this game.
And Rivera off the mark there on the pull-up, and Delorier back in the game. He's going to set the ball screen for Horn. Horn gets a 2 and can't finish.
We talked about on the break, too. If you're Miller, and if you're particularly Austin Ball, I'm not doing a whole lot of spectating as this lead goes in the other direction. I'm taking the ball, and I'm making some things happen. You got to look to your leaders at this point in the season, at this crunch time pivot point in the game where it's going in the other direction.
If we do anything for him, it's not going to be for a while.
And it looks like Miller's going to be okay with Highland holding for the last shot here. As Cam Cole's got it right around the logo area.
And one thing I'm looking at, Miller, their bench is chanting defense, but it's not very spirited. Their hands are barely clapping. And so they're going to have to pick up the energy.
And the floater
almost goes
off the mark. And that will do it here at the end of 3 in the VISA D2 State Championship. Highland School 37, Miller 32. We'll be right back here on the CBG Live Network.
He does, but she said he still has an apartment in D.C., so he goes back and forth for work, I guess. I don't know. I don't know exactly. But he has a place here. He still has the place here. So they were all together. They were all together for separate days, and then she and Dan went back. But he's coming back because Joe was going out of town. Coming back to stay with his dad. So actually, I was going to call Joe and say, bring he and his dad dinner or something. Find out how he's doing. I just haven't done it yet, but I will. So, that's a scoop. That's all I know. That's all she wrote. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they are? That's cool. Cool. All right, well, I'm going to finish up what I'm doing here for work, and then I will see you probably not tonight, but probably tomorrow after work. Okay. Okay, have a safe trip. All right, bye.
And we are back here, fourth quarter underway, 5-point ball game. 8 minutes for all the marbles in this one.
And during the break, you were talking a little bit about what you think Highland needs to do to maintain this lead and come away with the win.
I think, one of the things they really need to do is continue to run their offense. I mean, they've, not take too quick of shots, not hold the ball too long. But like you said before, play with those principles that have got you here. Exploit the mismatches, run your sets that are going to work. And don't try to get a little bit too fancy because you're ahead. And almost a turnover there.
And there's no shot clock, so you can run your offense and run it again and run it again.
Yep. But again, we talked about playing with a lead yesterday, and you don't want to be too cautious with it.
Right.
As far as,
see, I'm not sure that way to get on the glass.
Wow. DJ
Big
Johnson.
shot right there. I was just about to say, tough pull-ups going to the baseline. I'm not sure, you don't need to take those shots.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, if one thing I'm seeing right now is Highland has brought a 20-man student section, and it's not a huge crowd, but I think it's been a source of energy for Highland.
Oh, 100%.
Accentuated the momentum at key times. It is almost as if it's like a home court advantage here on this neutral floor.
And Delorier tries to follow his own miss, loses it. Cam Cole down the lane. No call, and it's going to go back to Miller School.
We can also just decide when we get here. I said this an hour ago. He just now texted me, okay, I'm about to leave. I call him, I'm like, what takes
At what point, if you're Miller, do you try to speed up this game a little bit?
I mean, they are actually a really good pressing team. I think, it's a 7-point game right now. If it gets to 10 or if it stays this way until about 4 minutes, I would actually say 5. Maybe start now at this point. Like, throw something different at them. Throw a junk defense or start to press them a little bit and trap them and see kind of how they respond.
I thought Matt told me to do it.
And the fall away, and a foul is going to be called. And Eli Delorier will head to the line.
He's going to have to be aware down there that defenders from the perimeter are coming to get him.
Yep.
He got away with it that time, but just nearly lost the ball. And so that's something he's going to have to be aware of. And that's something that potentially Miller can exploit. If you're going to be sending 2, maybe you kick out to shooters or send a cutter.
Absolutely, and that's off on the first one from Delorier.
And just something small right there. Delorier misses, puts his head down, and 20. Will Bond takes his finger and lifts up the chin of Delorier as if to say, keep your head up. The game is still going.
Yep. And the second on the way, and he hits it.
Lift your chin up and lift the ball up because he missed the first one short. So metaphorical and literal.
And we got a timeout here for Highland. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be right back on the CBG Live Network.
You see this?
And we are back here out of the timeout. 6 minutes to play. 6 minutes for the ring.
Here comes the 1-2-2 press from Miller we talked about.
Yeah, and we'll see. They go to man after, or they get back into man out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But now they've got Rose on Brown, and I almost think that was a little bit intentional. I like to kind of bait them into, hey, here's the mismatch, try to throw it inside, and that's not how they played the whole game. You said chess, playing chess with that.
Yeah.
But that's just my thought. Who knows? It might have been completely accidental. And ball spins loses it, and Evan Brown comes away with it.
Highland being patient. Coach Merriweather signals for his guys to step up.
And Delorier on Cole. And Cole says, I got this. Let's clear it out. And he attacks right, blows by. And a block at the rim there by Bondi. Great help defense. Will Bondi, one of their better defenders, number 20.
This game is still within reach. Just 2 possessions right here. A chance to make it 1 possession. It has felt like Highland and that defensive activity again, the hustle.
Yeah, and we got a timeout by Miller. Great job by Miller. Head coach Jack Merriweather realizing and calling the timeout to save possession. 4:27 remaining. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be right back on the CBG Live Network. And here we are back out of the timeout. Jordan Horn initiating the offense, goes to Bondi. High-low action and inside of Eli Delorier.
Great set right there. You swing ball through, you get the ball to Horn, you screen with Delorier, all to get Delorier space in that middle. And we've got a 4-point game here. Miller applying some pressure, hands straight up, and they'll look to push.
No call there, and up ahead, Bondi looking inside to Delorier. Counted plus the foul for Eli Delorier.
And you talk about the significance of gaining that timeout.
Yep.
Instead of a tie ball potentially going to Highland, they get a timeout, secure possession, run a set for Delorier to bring the game within 4, accentuate that momentum, get a stop and a score, chance to make it a 1-point game.
Absolutely, and the confidence that they have to keep going to Delorier when he's not having his best game. Instead saying, let's put him in some positions to get some easy ones. And he hits the free throw. That's 5 straight. Now we got a 1-point ball game here. And the way the momentum has changed in the past 30 seconds.
And no longer is Highland playing the patient game.
Yep.
They're back to it's basketball now.
Yep. And they send ball over to Trapp, and they almost throw it away.
And no longer is Miller in the position where they have to overextend themselves, but they're riding this momentum.
And a foul is going to be called on Jordan Horn. That is Miller's 4th. Jordan Horn's 3rd.
And this might be where Miller's experience pays dividends. Here towards the end of a game, when you need someone to settle you down. And we see it. Overthrows it.
That coming from their senior leader, Cam Cole. A little uncharacteristic of him.
Chance to take the lead here.
And Cole gambles for the steal, can't get it.
They go right back to that same set.
And this time, great find in the corner for Austin Ball. And they say straight up. But that was a great read there by Bondi to see the double coming from Ball's side. Hit him in the corner.
We talked about the go-to sets.
Yep. And it looks like Miller's gonna be going to that one. And you see Jack Merriweather telling Austin Ball, I don't care about that, man. Keep playing. Because we got 2:45 left in a 1-point ball game. Timeout, Highland. We'll take a quick timeout, too. We'll be right back on the CBG Live Network.
We kind of talk. We could talk about it.
And we're back here. 2:45 left.
During the break, you want to tell the audience who came up to us and what they asked?
Yeah, our guy Troy Mans, the head coach at LC Bird, came over and asked me if I had the stats, which we don't, and asked how many shots has Austin Ball taken. And another timeout, but I don't think he's taken enough. That's just me.
Not enough.
Yes, I agree. And we got another timeout here by Highland. We'll take another quick one. We'll be right back on the CBG Live Network. There we go, out of the timeout.
And Miller with these junk defenses have burned 2 critical timeouts for Highland here back to back. We'll see how that plays out down the stretch.
Absolutely. So Miller has 0 timeouts left, and Highland has 1 timeout left. And here we go, trap in the corner again. Do you use another? No. Get it out to Cole. Cole finds Rivera open in the corner. What a big time shot.
That's the danger of overextending. I thought there was potential that they turn Highland over right there, but committing that many defenders up top to the ball, you leave yourself susceptible to the corner, but they go right back to Delorier, a little high-low action, and Miller will drop right back into that zone.
And I mean, right now, Highland's got to get it over. As they go to Perkins. Perkins shoots the floater. Tough shot, maybe not what you want in that situation. And now Miller with a chance to tie or take the lead with 1:30 left in this one. And I'm pretty sure we know the set that's coming here.
Yep.
And they get it into him. Kicks it out.
Slow kick out, but
and a foul is going to be called on Brown.
And when you know the set is coming, when you have the players, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
You know the set's coming, but good luck stopping it.
And I think that the only way for them to really stop that set is to commit a second defender before the pass, as they're going to try to bring in DJ Johnson and see if he can do it. We're gonna
They
have to-
did.
All
Yes.
after the ball.
and
It's,
they
like,
found
so
ball in the corner.
crazy.
So Jackson Rose attacking downhill. The layup, no good. Rebound
rebound.
by
They're
Delorier.
trying to put it back up.
Wow, what a rebound there by Eli Delorier.
He's been huge down the stretch.
He has. We're down to 1 minute and 4
And
seconds.
here they go.
They find ball. Oh, they're going to say Rivera stepped out of bounds.
She was like, wait. who
1
is
minute
that
left.
saying?
Let's
Because,
see
like,
if
because she was, like,
Merriweather
has
goes to the
GM
same
drivers.
set
Like,
here,
wait a second, who
or
did
if he
that
decides
say?
to switch
And
it
then
up
was Mikey.
I think
with
you
them
gotta
knowing it goes.
throw a
where it's
little
going.
wrinkle in it.
And then she was like, oh, Jorge went with Mikey, the one that thought you were cute and GM. I was like, I didn't know that.
They're
But she's
4
like,
out,
but don't think
1
he
in
knows
right here,
the name
spacing
that
it out.
I'm dead. She's like, I
Looks
told you
like
about him before
getting
I
into
told
the
you about
point
Johnny.
action.
I was like, I don't remember. She's like, that's
Flex
why I asked
cut,
how you feel about
and they'll
cheating
probably be
and
looking to
Joker.
post
I
here,
was like,
and they are.
And
like,
Horn
okay,
goes
she's a
into
nice guy.
Delorier.
I fuck with her. It's like, you fuck
The
with
second
her.
defender comes. Delorier shoots that jump hook.
And
No
a-
good. Bond with the rebound. Jordan Horn can't finish. Another offensive rebound.
Another one.
Another one. They don't have any timeouts.
This is unbelievable.
I can't believe what we're watching. And it's still,
Unbelievable.
still
Highland
Miller
ball.
School basketball. And at some point, you have to be yelling, kick the ball out to reset everything, man. I mean, they had 3 or 4 wild attempts. And now they get a baseline out of bounds here with 20 seconds left in this. They go high to Delorier. He's going to hand off to Horn.
That was a kick.
Horn spinning in the paint. He gets the look. No good.
Another
The follow.
again.
Nobody can get it to go.
Off of Miller.
Oh, my.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
I mean, they had 8 shots, 9 shots at the rim. And I thought Horn had the car. And they inbound it long. Nobody's down there. And Delorier checking on Brown saying, I didn't mean to tackle you like that, man. I just had to foul you.
That had to have been close to a dozen attempts, point blank
Exactly.
attempps at the rim.
Just stinks.
What else could you ask for?
There's not much you can. And now Perkins is going to be fouled. And he's probably, that'll be 6. So they've got to foul yet again. And in this situation, I say all the time, I know you want to steal. That's the ultimate goal. You know, there's no rule in high school about fouling before the ball is inbounded. And he throws it all the way in the backcourt.
That was terrible.
Almost throws it away. But like if I'm Miller in that situation, I might consider trying to wrap up Evan Brown, the freshman down here, before the ball is inbounded.
Definitely.
It's a common foul. He goes to the line to shoot a 1-and-1 instead of allowing 1.5 seconds to come off. Now you're looking at 2.4 versus 3.9. It's a big difference.
Huge difference.
She's such like
Nuances of the rules.
And you then get to kind of pick your shooter.
Yeah.
You know, I'd even send my kid, hey man, tell the ref you're going to foul this guy.
Yeah.
And foul
you know how
him.
I get so weird. He gets so silly.
So Cam Cole, the senior leader. No timeouts for Miller, by the way. And he misses. They've got to go.
He was going like on.
Dyer from half court. Oh my God!
Goodness. The half-court heave almost goes, but Highland hangs on.
Highland School, your Division II VISAA State Champions, and Logan Miller's first season as the head coach. Oh, dejection on one sideline and pure celebration on the other. What a basketball game we just watched.
Wow, congratulations to Highland.
Wow.
Hats off to Miller for a great game, for reaching the state finals.
And we don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to watch them do the medal celebration or ceremony, and then we've got the big dogs, the D1s, Stab St. Anne's Belfield out of Charlottesville.